Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, your sponsor, Nishmat Sam Yakashon Lapas Yitzchok. We're holding in Sanhedrin Daf Pei Dalet. We're starting in the two dots that begin on the base towards the bottom. The Gemara says, "Aval Orel." We learned the brayso that said which who's Chad Mis, who's not Chad Mis. Begin on the base of the bottom. Yeah. So the Gemara says, according to the Mishnah says, "Aval Orel," who doesn't have a Bismillah, Oinen, who has someone died in his family that day, Yoshev, or sitting down doing the avodah. In all these cases, Ba'azora is only a lav. It's not misa. How do we know Orel? We didn't learn this from Moshe Rabbeinu. We learned this from Yechezkel. Kol ben nechar arei leiv, when that pedal and dalef, v'orel basar lo yavo el b'gdashi l'shazini. It says over there, relay refers to someone who he's not religious, it's not Krumaisel Avish Mashmaim. And Orel Basar is that he doesn't have, he's still a good Jew. So why is he Orel? Rashi says his brothers died when they did a brisbane. Oinin Minol, I'm Noirlin. Oinin Nechtiv, when a Mikdash lo Yetze, so lo Yechale is Mikdash Elikov. It says by Kohen Gadol, when he has someone who died in his family, he should not leave the base of Mikdash. Ha acher shelo yotzo chila. Not just another Kohen who doesn't go out. He will is mechal. What?
Josh Shemesh is Misa, right?
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a moment. Which Misa is it? He wasn't going to go into.
We're saying now from the pasuk we learned that Oral Kol Ben Nechar Oral Leiv, it's a lav, right? So Ben Nechar is also a lav.
No, we refer to a Kohen who was not religious. Kohen was not religious, that's the lav, right?
It's a Kohen.
Yeah. So he says, because it says chilu. Saying by chumo, if somebody eats chumo, shloi kedin, is chayim miso. So here he should be chayim miso. Why are you saying it's only a lav? Says the Gemara, michtive begufei michlolokos. Doesn't say in there. Doesn't say that you have chilul. It says Kohen Gadol does not have chilul. So you learn from here, Mashra regular Kohen does have chilul. It's called michlol. Michlol means you learn from it. You learn. It's not clear. The kol davar ba min echlal in don you exertion. You don't do zeh shava for a diuk. That's like what it says over here. Kiva Eger sends us to Shul Kvetz Bavakamo and to the Sul in the Rashbo. Regarding this rule, it's a rule. Don't take zeh shava. It's something that's learned from echlal. Say that. So it's a good rule to learn, and maybe Efsha will do the Shom Machshava on this point. Say the more Yoshem, how you know we're sitting down. There's the lav. Shmuel says that shows out the Kohen to stand and do a shirus. You have to be standing, not sitting. Balmum, Rebbe Yoim Miso. So Machlekes is a Miso Shnei Shemayim or lav. My time there, what's the reason, Rabbi? It says by Balmum. It's back where you get Kimun boy. It says don't do chilu. Same with Chumo. Someone's not supposed to eat Chu is Chai Miso. So it's also here. Similar with Neilav Chilu Minoiser. What do you learn from Noiser? That's similar to what we learned in previous daf. You learn chilu, you can learn from Noiser from Truma. Malo and Bekaris, Bekan Bekaris, means a car is not a Mrs. Bisu de Shamayim. According to some Shari, and if Kamina is one of Kamina is what age does he die? Then if Kamina is set number two, if it takes for his children or not. It makes sense to learn the idea of Balmum from Truma. Shekel Psulagum Psulaguf. By Truma, we're talking about someone who's tummy, or is not supposed to eat Truma. And here we're talking about someone's Balmum. It's Psulaguf. So it makes sense to move each other. Now this is one place we have much more things as doing in Leisa. Shekain Kodesh, they're both Kodesh. Truma is Kodesh, and Balmum talk about Yeshimish is Kodesh, and Noisa is Kodesh. Pnim, they're both in service of English. Pigul the Naisa. They both have Pigul the Naisa. Pigul means that wrong machshava, and Naisa is actually even over. So why don't you learn from there? Hello, mitome shishimish. You're now learning Ba'almum from Truma. Learning Ba'almum from Tameh. Why? Come up psula guf. They're both psula guf, they're both in the body. Kodesh, both Kodesh, Prim, both inside Pigul v'Naisa. The Kodesh, Prim, Pigul v'Naisa. So they're all similar. More, it has everything the Naisa has, plus it's psula guf. So that's where you learn from there. And Yimele, you learn from, and by Tuba already learned before, that it is a Mitzvah D'Shamayim. Same what we're upon to say Tana Miso. Says the Gemara, my crow, boy, by the tomb it says, V'lo yisul chet boy kichalu. It says, Lo yisul chet boy, masho boy, dafka betumah you have chet, but not by Balmum. Here's a b'meila, that's the next part of the brayso. Someone who used the kodesh, it's called meilo, it doesn't be mezit. Rabbi Oimer b'miso, v'choim oimer b'azor. Rabbi says chay miso. Rabbi says only, Rabbi says only enough. My time of the Rabbi Omar Avo, go my chet m'chuma, learn m'chuma. Malo m'miso, kind of miso. So you learn m'chuma. And here we're talking about obviously, and you learn not from chibul, from chet. So chet you have only m'chuma. When boy, the same boy that it says when it said before they have boy, there's specific things you can miss, but not something else includes Ba'almum and includes a meal. Okay, says the Gemara. Zar Shishish B'Mikdash. That's what we learned earlier. It was Zar Shishish B'Mikdash. Says the Gemara, Tanya, and we saw, what did we see before? We saw in the Brisa, yesterday's Brisa, right? It says, Shemisa, Oichel, Satablu, Koyitom, Shachuma, Toy, Vizah, Shachuma, Zah Shimish, so Achay Misa. So the Gemara now, it's not too simple. Tanya, Bishwa, Loimene, Markan, Nazar, Korb, Yumos, Malo, Olon, Kola, Korb, Korb, Lishkan, Hashem, Yomus. It says Miso by Zar. It says Miso by, when after Korb, it says, anybody gets close to Yomus. What we talk about there by Koyach, 250 people got close who Adi died, B'dei Shamayim. So it means you'll die B'dei Shamayim. It says by a Navi Sheker. Navi Sheker is Misa. It's Kilo. Very, very far away from each other. Is it Misa B'dei Shamayim? Or it's a Misa B'dei Miskilo? So it says, Gemara, you learn from Navi Yechezkel, but Navi Yechezkel's chenek is not skilling. You kill him with choking, not with stoning. So that's where you learn from. So the Chorus says, why could we be Shmuel Rabbi Kiva? The first machlokes is it Mitzvah B'dei Shamayim or is it Mitzvah Beis Din? What's the machlokes? Rabbi Kiva Sovadonim Yumas Miyumas, because it says by the Zohar Korb, it says Zohar Korb Yumas. And it says Kol Korb Mishkas Hashem Yomus. That's what it says by Mitzvah Shamayim. So Mimele says you can't learn from there. You have to learn from Navi that says by Navi Yumas. So the word Yumas from Yumas, now Yumas from Yomus. Ain't done Yumas be Yomus. So if I have to choose where to learn it from, I learn from when it says the same exact word. It says I'm now learning from, I have to learn a regular guy, like the 250 people from Adas Karech, from a regular guy, the regular guy, talking about a Zar who's Mispishash English. Don't learn from a Navi. A Navi is talking about someone who's a little elevated, it's a different person. So what means is a Navi. But he's the one who influenced Am Yisrael to do the Zar. He's not a Navi. He's not Choshev. He's a very simple person. In fact, the Nevuah doesn't give him any chashivas if he caused Am Yisrael to do the Zar. So out there, is not considered to be learning Hedrid from Navi, because if from a Navi, it's Hedrid from Hedrid. So that's where in the first machlok is the Mitzvah Shamayim, Mitzvah B'dei Adam. Now, but my Rabbi Yechezkel ben Nuri. What the Rabbi Yechezkel ben Nuri regarding what? Regarding with his skilo or chenek. If look to the Rabbi Shimon Barabano, right? In some machlok Shimon Barabano, you're going to Navi Sheker. The Tanya Navi Shidiach, Navi the cause Am Yisrael do with the Zoro. The din is beskilo. Shimon Barabano bechenek. Beskilo or chenek. So the Gemara, Anan, Tanan. We want to say that's not like so. Akiva holds as Beskilo, and that's why he says that also Zar Shishirish is Beskilo. And Rabbi Shimon says the Novi Sheidiach is Bechenek, so he may also Zar Shishirish Bechenek. Sorry, Rabbi Benuri holds like Rabbi Shimon. So what's that? We learn that Rabbi Akiva holds that Novi Sheidiach is Bechenek. Tanoim leave their Akiva. It's two Tanoim leave their Akiva. But still saying Rabbi Shimon leave their Akiva. Right? So Rabbanim leave their Akiva. Meaning the Mishnah that says that Novi Sheidiach is Bechenek, it goes according to Rabbi Akiva. That is Rabbi Shimon according to Rabbi Akiva. We just said that Rabbi Shimon holds Bechenek. But Shimon was Rabbi Shimon. Shimon Bar Yochai. Shimon Bar Yochai is a Talmud of Rabbi Akiva. So he says the name of his Rabbi that's Bechenek. And Novi Sheidiach is Bechenek. But the Brisa that says over here that we just learned now, there, Zor Shishimish is Chayav Skilo, like a Novi Sheidiach is Chayav Skilo according to Rabbi Akiva. So another Rabbi Akiva, the other Rabbanim according to Rabbi Akiva, they say that he's Chayav Skilo. It's interesting to point out, it comes out that the Zar Shishimish and a Novi Sheidiach Sheidiach are in the same level. It does make some sense. Zar Shishimish means a person who's not supposed to be here is here. His client supposed to do the Avodah, and here the Zar is doing the Avodah. And here we talk about the Navi supposed to connect the Kodesh Baruch Hu and is connecting to the Zar. So there's some maybe similarities, but we're connecting the two things together. Whatever means you have one and the other, Nigzeres HaKosov. That is with this we end the 9th parak on Meseches Sanhedrin, going now to the 10th parak. It's very interesting. The 10th parak of Meseches Sanhedrin, there is a discussion: is that the last parak and Perek Chelek comes before, or as we have it, the Perek Chelek comes at the end. Machlokes in the Rishonim, different Rayos and Rashi to here and to there, which comes first. But our Seder is that this comes first, and then Chelek, the Agat is really for that. So the Mishnah. Now, who are the ones that are being choked? We went through all the Amimis basic. So we had the Niskolim, we had the Nisrafim, the ones who are stoned, those are burned, and we had the ones that are B'Saif. Now, Hamake Ovivi, someone who hates his father or his mother. Someone who kidnaps a Jew. The Zokin Mamre al Pibezi. The Zokin who is Mamre, as Rashi says over here. What is Mamre? Mamre is Loshon Hamro. Right? He is Mamre Me'isim Hashem. He's refusing to follow Bezi. The Novi HaSheker. And Novi Sheker is also Bechenek, according to our Mishnah. Hamistav b'Shem of Yitzchachovim. So Novi Sheker is just like he says Hashem told spoke to Hashem not speak to him. Or someone who says in the book name of the Zara. Someone has a relationship with a Yeshesish. The Zoyin Bas Koyen Uboyalo. So as we saw earlier, a Bas Koyen, Arusa at least, like it's Arusa the Suah, Arusa only in the Suah as well, she gets faithful. But the one who had been with her, the male, is getting chenek. And the Zoymimim, the Eidim that said a false testimony, they get also chenek, like the boil, even if there's no boil over here, they also get chenek. Zog the Gemara. Make ovi v'imoy. Mino. How do we know make ovi v'imoy? How do you know that make ovi v'imoy is chenek? Yeah. It's tichtim make ovi v'imoy moishus. Someone's make ovi v'imoy. He is he's gonna die. Because misa amur b'toyo stam in el chenek. Regular misa the toyo was chenek. Says the Gemara. Emo ad. Maybe we're talking about that. Maybe emo ad. The kotili mikto, right? Maybe it means he has to kill his father. Maybe makav v'yimur doesn't mean he just hits his father. He hits him and he kills him. Then he gets chenek. But not if he just hits him. Says the Gemara, how can it be? We learned earlier when someone kills somebody else, what does he get? He gets saif. One says now the saif is more chomer. When he's going to kill his father, it can't be he goes down one when he kills the father. So when he killed his father, he hit his father. So that's good if you hold the chenek is a more lenient misa. He kills a regular person, he gets saif. Because his father gets one stage above that, which is chenek. It says, when you want to speak about Misa, the Torah knows how to speak, so to speak. The Torah says, someone who hits a person, and he died. He hit somebody, he died. So when the Torah just says Make, it doesn't mean death. You just stop hitting. Someone hits the father. So now we have these two psukim you just mentioned that the one pasuk we just mentioned, which is Makiish, the base Yomos, and then another pasuk that we have, so another pasuk that tells me, so why need both? Maybe only if you kill an adult you have. Kill a child, you're not chayav. Maybe. He's not chayav mitzvahs. Because Zachman kol makin nefesh. And yakos nefesh. Because Zachman kol makin nefesh. Hava mino. Afilu nefalim. Maybe you're talking about even fetuses had a miscarriage. Tosis says had a miscarriage. Afilu bin shwaina. Why? Even if he's 8-month-old baby, in other words, he's not going to live. That's like to say that it has to be a person who's a bar kayom. Today's asked over here, how can you talk about the following? In the case that we have this story that we mentioned it a few times. You have two people that are fighting. You know, they hit each other, they're about to kill each other, but by mistake, it caused a miscarriage. What's it over there? The question is, Yichayim Momen or not? Rabbi holds Yichayim Momen, right? Why? If you chayav on the fetuses, of course you're not going to be chayav Momen. So you see, you're not chayav on the fetuses. So no, that's talking about when the fetus is in the womb of the mother. Then you're right. Then it's clear you're not chayav on that. Talking about the fetus came out of the womb of the mother. I mean, there's a miscarriage, and now he killed him. He's like still living for a little bit. Maybe he's gonna be chayav. That's a tzricha. So maybe okay. So we learned. So this was a side point regarding why we need two psukim regarding Yetzichel. Now going back to the father and mother, we learned says Maka didn't say mace. It means they just hit them. Okay, if you hit them, maybe just hitting without a blemish. Now, why did we learn? He's not chayav until he makes a blemish. You're comparing Adam to Behemah. By Maka Behemah, there's a pasuk that says, "Umake nefesh behemah yishalmenu." It says nefesh behemah is not just hitting in behemah. It means he has to create a blemish. There's some blood that comes out. So you learn from Maka Behemah, there needs to be the achabur. Says the Gemara. Right, so Rashi explains. It says Maka Adam, who's just talking about the father. It says because Maka Adam not chayav until you kill him. Just hitting somebody not chayav. So when we're comparing to Adam, who you chayav for just hitting? The father. You just learned by a behemah. It says nefesh has to be a chabur. So what happens to a person? We talk about Yechezkel, of course. Like a person went, he did not make any blemish to the behemah. He just went and he put on her 2 tons of stone, and she became very weak. Is he not going to be chayav in beginning Yechezkel? When it says by a behemah nefesh, you can't speak about an animal, because the animal, you don't need a fish. You don't have to do a blemish. You chayav for any nezik. Now when you have nefesh adam, so the nefesh it says by behemah refers to adam. So with the beginning the Gemara said, because it says by behemah nefesh, you have a hekesh to an adam, so by adam you need to have a nefesh. So no. By behemah the nefesh cannot apply. So you have to say that the nefesh of the behemah is referring to the adam. So I don't need a hekesh. It's extra pasuk. Ela hekesh shalam nisvayt says maki adam maki behemah. Like you learned earlier about that time of Yechezkel. We just said a few tapping ago. Time of Yechezkel is comparing Adam to Behemah. Ma Behemah, there's no difference between Shoygeg, Mezid, Oynes, Rotzah, Miskavin, Shem Miskavin. So also by Maki Adam, there's no difference between Shoygeg, Mezid, Oynes, Rotzah, Miskavin, Shem Miskavin. He's now Chayav in Moment. Hanich, man, the Yisrael time of Yechezkel. Man, the Yisrael time of Yechezkel, Kesh Lamali, the people pushed up shot, like more later, there's about three Rimaflekes. Rabbanan, Rebbe, and Tadli Yechezkel. Not everybody agrees with Yechezkel. So I don't need the hekesh. It says, well, Maka Behemah lefu apatur, Maka Adam lefu apatur. Person who's Maka Behemah for the purpose, because he's a what's the word in English? Veterinarian. Veterinarian. He's a doctor, And that's why he's taking out for blood, for example. It's not going to be chayav in that. So also a person who's makil adam by a father is not chayav v'dilu refu. So the more dibailu. We had a question regarding it. Ben maushi yaki's dom noavi. Can a son take blood, draw blood from his father? Yeah, you need to love your friend like you love yourself. Would you like to draw blood from yourself if you need it for medicine purposes? Yes, obviously yes. So also with the father, he wants it. We said before, this drasha. You see from here, if you do it for your fourth butter. Says the Gemara, Rav did not allow his son to take out a thorn from when he had a thorn in his body. Rav did not allow his son to open a boil. Why? Dilma chavil. Maybe it's going to cause a chabala. Have the shgagas isur. It'll be a shgaga. It's a shgagas isur. Meaning that his shgaga maybe of chayav misa for his father. So any person don't allow him to take a boil out because of chabura, and you can be chayav and is asur. Says the Gemara. So right. Because as Rashi says, there's a issue to do chabal to anybody. If you're not to do chabal. Anybody else can do, the reason why he can't cause a blemish to his friend, it's a love. It's a love. So if you made a mistake, it's a shgog of a love. It's a very small, relatively speaking, very small. But by a father, it's a chenek. Shgog's chenek is much more severe.
You have to the other son's a doctor, and he can only do that procedure.
That's the thing over here. Now let's just finish over the discussion right over here. Talking about the doctor because we see the discussion of the Gemara. It says regarding in Shabbos, you're allowed to take a needle. Machat means a small needle to take away a thorn that went into the body on Shabbos. You know what happens if you take a blood on Shabbos? Make a blemish? Skila. Chabala, you chayal skila. So why? If you're saying that when a person makes a mistake and he may do something wrong, so then you have a din of a shgaga and you're afraid of miso. So even though it's only a shgaga, so of course with Shabbos you have skila. Also mikalkel. Well, here's mikalkel. What is mikalkel? He's ruining. He's making a chabala because it's not causing any benefit. How do you chavan mikalkel pot? That's if you hold mikalkel is pot. If you hold the mikalkel chayev, what are you going to say then? So the more man Shabbos lay down mikalkel bechabur chayev. Who's the man that holds mikalkel is chayev? You have Shimini. It's the Shimini. The PM with Aleph. Shimini Omar called melocho shein yitzuchel gufa pater olem. Shimini holds whenever you do melocha that you don't need the actual result of melocha. You do it for another purpose, so then you pater. So here he's not interested in the chabal. He's interested in taking out the thorn. So the melocha shein yitzuchel gufa does the chabal. So he's pater olem. Even though mikalkel is chayev. But he is not intending for the mekalkel. He's doing it for Moshe. Now, it's very interesting over here. What? Yeah, we passed Moshe. Now, regarding this, it's a very interesting, two very interesting tastes over here. More than you get in Yoni Shabbos. But it starts with the fact, Taisa says, we never found throughout Shas, the word brings a few times, that Shimon holds the mekalkel b'chaburo is also, and Rabbi Yehuda holds the mekalkel b'chaburo is mutter. He says we never found that in Shas. Where's the source? Rabbi Yehuda Shimon argued. So Taisa brings the sheet of Rashi. The Rashi explains the reason why it's why they go together is because if Shimon holds that melacha shein tzich gufo, you are potter. So and still it says in the Torah says you're not allowed to kill Mrs. Beisdin. You have to have to do Mrs. Beisdin on Shabbos. Why can't you do Mrs. Beisdin on Shabbos? What about why? So the Torah says Ashrik Mrs. Beisdin are allowed to. So here you learn all Chabbalah also. Why all Chabbalah also? So I'm not intending to do the thing itself. I want to make the Misa, but I don't want to do the Chabbalah. Because Chabbalah, the question is, so the way he brings over here, he says, right? Always you're ruining something to get to something else. So if you hold when you do something to get to something else, you're chayav. So I understand why it just tell you the Kabbalah is also, why Avara is also. What are you trying to tell me? You're trying to tell me because it's malacha shel gufo. But if according to Rav Shimon, the malacha itself that you're doing, you're burning. If I take wood and I burn it, I'm ruining it. Helamag, it causes me to have fire. That's malacha shel gufo. So you see, if you're in the Mekalka, that's the Toys what brings it in Rashi. Toys argues in Rashi, says not again one to each other. You're not learning both Mechlekes it together. And if there's other sources that we should read all that way. And then we get to Malacha Tzoi Gufa, and then the next text is really associating Malacha Tzoi Gufa to Doshim Miskaven and Miskaven. Because the Chut doesn't go together in that. So that's another famous text in Chas. Malacha Tzoi Gufa means I don't want this, I want something else. But it is Doshim Miskaven. And it's itself could be miskaven great, but dam amin malach. So the Gemara says over here, what the Gemara concludes is if Shimon holds that mekalke chayav melchet tzregufa yipater. And mimele, when a person takes a thorn, takes a needle, take a thorn. If he's taking the thorn, that's what he wants to do. It's fine. He takes the blood, melchet tzregufa yipater. According to Yehuda, even though melchet tzregufa chayav, but he's mekalke b'chabur yipater smell kulam. It's okay. Just before we end today. What we mentioned over here is what is the din by a son being a doctor for his father. Shaila, there's a very few shidduchim in the Rishonim. I don't understand our sugyas. Our sugya machlekes, because the beginning more says the refuah mutter. A lot of people be a doctor for the father. Nothing more brings the Orman Dorman. They did not allow their sons to do a refuah. Here's the pshat. They argued, and they hold the refuah. You can't do refuah. They argued with the drasha. Well, they say of course you can do refuah, but the problem is maybe you'll do more than the refuah. Before you're allowed to do. But if you're doing the refuah, and within that time you can do another chabal, which is not part of the refuah, on that you have a shgog, and that's a problem. So it's not a machlekes regarding the refuah. It's regarding a shgog, it's always regarding the shgog. So as a discussion, the Shulchan Aruch brings many of the shittas over here, the different shittas of the Rishonim, until what extent the son could do. I think halacha l'maaseh we hold that a son who is a doctor, he could heal the father. If there's nobody else, because it's only getting to the shgaka. And he has to associate here into the sugya, and now we learn the machlekes over here in the sugya, the yesh la'ayik being in the zeh. We'll continue from here tomorrow night.